Exterior window trim out is one of the first steps in siding, which is one of the final steps in this deep energy retrofit and gut rehab in Concord, Massachusetts. Synergy Construction has added new window openings, flashed the openings, and installed new triple-glazed windows. Next, the guys added 4 inches of foam to the outside of the house. Inside, the windows are flush with the wall surface. Outside, the windows are set back from the wall surface. That means they're innies. To bridge the foam, extension jambs are added to the outside of the window. Fastened to the window casing, they rest on a sill which is pocket screwed into the framing. The extension jamb is pre-assembled and test fit to the openings. Sometimes the foam has to be trimmed back a bit to get the correct reveal along the top and sides. The rest of the guys were giving John quite a bit of ribbing about this, which is why I've added the extra footage here so you can keep it in mind when you're doing the foam. With the extension jambs fit correctly, window casing is added to the jamb and then the whole assembly is installed, screwing through the casing and into the framing. For simple windows and doors, that's where it ends. But for complicated window banks like this, that's where the fun begins. The lintel and mullions of this window frame are covered with aerogel insulation, which is held in place with flashing tape. The trim will need to bridge that extra thickness without appearing humpy, so each piece of trim is actually 3 pieces put together. The long horizontal piece of trim is called a lintel, and it extends from one end of the window bank to the other, so that's the first piece to install. It's like a 1x6 on the flat with a drip cap on top, but the drip cap extends back to hold the casing off the insulation, and a series of blocks on the bottom fill the space between the vertical mullions. With the lintel assembled, the guys install it with exterior-grade trim screws. Now, it's time to get some numbers for the vertical pieces. When David has a rough number to build to, he gets to work pre-assembling the lower and upper mullions. These pieces are a simpler shape, just a face piece with a couple of extension legs and a 1/4 inch reveal along the joints. Meanwhile, up on the scaffold, Calvin is installing the lower mullions. They will have to line up with the mullions above, and they'll also need to have the right reveal on each side of the window frame. So Calvin takes his time, getting it right where it needs to be. And then he screws it home for a nice tight joint. He lines up the middle and bottom and screws them into position. Now it's time to holler down numbers for the top pieces.
Yeah, this first one's going to be 31 and 3/8.
Wait, did you see what he did there? He measures up 10 inches, then measures down to the mark, adding 10 inches to the number on his tape. That way, he doesn't have to bend his tape into a corner
31 and 3/8.
And guess about it.
To the short point.
He tests the fit of the first mullion in various places and finds a little variation, so he uses this one where it fits, and Dave cuts a slightly shorter one for the other end. With the last piece of trim work installed, Calvin cuts away the flashing tape that's still exposed and pulls it off the window frame.